Anyway, it's my honor to introduce to you today our speaker. We have a real treat all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. Scott William Thompson. We call him Scott. He is a member of our practitioner corps here, and you may or may not have known that because he Zooms in with us all the time, our meetings. He participates in our practitioner retreat that we will have, and he's here serving you even if you didn't know he was serving you. And just to tell you a little bit about Scott, he was born in Omaha and grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and moved to the other end state, Nevada, and may come to Prescott one of these days, we're hoping. He is currently co-teaching foundations with Sandy Kimmerly, who's our practitioner today, so he has a lot of different skills. He is overnight on-call chaplain at Sunrise Hospital in Las Vegas. Can you imagine what that would be like? I'm sure he serves the many. In fact, some of his work as a chaplain has expanded to areas of trauma relief, and he's a chaplain for first responders on that team. We're really grateful and quite awed, and he's written 2 books, and I haven't read them yet, so they're on my list, okay? The Grief Handbook and 9 Life Lessons. He's a member of the Spiritual Care Association as well. And what I can tell you is Scott is a team player, and he brings humor to life and to all of us, and loving kindness. And we are so amazingly blessed to have Scott Thompson as our speaker today.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. It's going to be all right. Every little thing, right? Jackson, thank you. Thank you for your talk, your songs. I'm going to get in a flow. Hi, everyone. My name is Scott Thompson, and I'm so honored to be with you all today in this beloved community, and it has been a journey of getting here for me. I'm going to talk a little bit about my adventures, but before I even go into that, I'd like to know, is there anyone here for their very first time? You. Welcome. You are welcome here. I remember when I was sitting in a chair in my very first time, I had no idea what this was about. I thought it was one of those culty, kooky kind of people. I think they were called Church of Scientology. That's what it was. And I remember I sat in the room, and there was this beautiful song that Jackson sang, and at the center where I was originally from, a woman by the name of Mary O'Reilly sang that song. And I was moved to tears sitting there because something resonated with me. Something resonated very strongly that I was in a place where it was okay not to be okay. And so that is one of the beautiful things about the Center for Spiritual Living, is that we love you exactly the way you are. Just exactly who you are. And for myself, it took an adventure. I came into the Center for Spiritual Living in 2010. And I didn't really have a great concept of God. I had a lot of mixed denominations in there. I was raised Jewish, and then it got too expensive to be Jewish. And so then I had to go to a Southern Baptist church. So then I learned about different kinds of stuff, and then I decided to go the middle road and become a Buddhist. And then I kind of went over here, and I dove into a little bit of Wiccan practices. And you know, I kind of like expanded myself because I remember I was looking for something. Can any of you understand and relate that you're looking for something? Looking for something. Welcome home. Because here is the buffet of looking for something, okay? Because each one of us brings a unique, dynamic experience to each other. And no matter if you're sitting in the back being very quiet, you're important. Whether you're up front leading a service, you're important. Whether you are in the booth getting things ready to go for us, you're important. Everybody plays a part. Everybody plays a part in this thing called life. And when we can connect to that flow, to that divine flow, knowing that each one of us brings an experience to life, how good is that? We talk about good and God, right? God is good all the time. I have a lot of Christian friends, and they lift their hands, God is good all the time, God is good, right? Well, so do we. Because in this faith and denomination, I come to understand that God is right where I am. That I don't have to go looking for it. I don't have to go find God, because God is right here. And it's been through the journey of this faith and philosophy that Ernest Holmes so lovingly put together in a book called The Science of Mind. And I know, if you've ever seen The Science of Mind, it's like Moby Dick on steroids, right? It's a really thick book. And I remember when I started my journey into teaching and learning and understanding this faith and philosophy, I looked at that book and I said, there is no way I'm going to read this book. Well, guess what? On csl.org, there is a little thing on there that can teach you how to read Science of Mind in 1 year. And it's really easy in bite-sized, condensed areas. So get the Science of Mind, because it's full of so many great things. So many great things. So a little bit about me. How did I get here? Well, first of all, I'm home, so I'm glad to be home. I'm glad to be here with all of you. This is my center. I've served in 3 centers. I started at the Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. I moved over to here for a moment, and then I got rented out to Santa Fe. And so I started doing Centers for Spiritual Living in Santa Fe, and then now I'm back home. So it's I have a brand called The Wandering Sage, so I think it kind of fits who I am. I kind of be that. So I want to talk a little bit about, we're going deeper. Thank you, Sandy, by the way, for your meditation this morning. Going deeper. And my talk is on about spiritual principles. And, you know, we know about spiritual principles, but there's certain aspects of those spiritual principles that I have found in my teachings and in my own experiences. Because really, if we think about it, isn't experience the best teacher, right? So I'm not one of these people that will come up here and preach. I don't preach, and I don't respond well to preaching. I respond very well to interperspective. I respond very well to being guided to go somewhere. And let me go explore. Let me go seek what it is. Let me go find my own truth. Because your truth is not necessarily my truth. But yet we move into this center of oneness that all truths are important. But how we get there is a path. And so I'm going to share with you a little bit about some things that I have discovered during my journey through spiritual awakenings, I like to call it. So first of all, awareness. Let's talk about awareness. How often are we in a space where we're actually aware of everything that's going on around us? If you're like me, many times we have these tunnel vision. I see you. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. We have this tunnel vision, right? And we can't see anything around us because we're so focused on this one thing. So what I've learned in my path is that when I broaden my horizons, when I expand my vision to see all things, that one thing becomes part of the all. It becomes part of the all. And so I don't have this overwhelming sense of needing to get it right, right? How many of you are one of those get it right people? I got to get it right. Got to get it right. It's got, got to dot that I, got to cross that T. It's got to be perfect. There's no perfectionists here. It's got to be perfect, right? And then you get that anxiety, right? Get that anxiety, and then here comes the self-talk. Here comes the self-talk. God, I'm so stupid. God, why can't I get that right? You know, if I could only do this better. If I could do that better, right? Oh, technology, I can't get it. I don't understand it. If we could go into that and we keep doing these things to ourselves in our mind, guess what happens? It resonates in our bodies. And it resonates in our experiences. And so that tunnel vision that I talked about now becomes a tunnel vision of not enoughness. We start doing negative self-talk to ourselves without even knowing that we're doing negative self-talks to ourselves because we've been in that energy. We've been in that energy. And I like to talk about energy because each one of us is energy. And each one of us brings a dynamic, unique expression of our own energy to this thing we call life. So let's talk a little bit about loving unconditionally. Ooh. I don't know about that one. That's a tough one. I'm sure we have family members and friends and people that we just don't really want to love unconditionally, right? We can get caught up into the illusion of politics, of religion. And it's like we have people in our lives that get caught up in that illusion, and I can't love them unconditionally. I can't. But here's what happens when you do. When you go into that space of acceptance, you understand that loving unconditionally is not for them, but it's for you. Because when you love somebody unconditionally, it creates a space within you that frees resentment. It frees pain. It frees envy. It frees all of those negative behaviors that we can embody in ourselves that block us from the truth of who we are. And so I have a saying, I don't have to like you, but I gotta love you. And that's the truth. I have to love everyone, but I don't have to like it, but I have to love. And really, Ernest Holmes' whole basic premises of this faith and philosophy is love and law. Love and law. So if we aren't unconditionally loving each other, what's the law going to do? It's going to respond. And you're going to get more of those people in your life. You're going to get more of those people that irritate you. Do you know how many slow drivers I had in Prescott here? How many slow drivers I encountered in Prescott, right? Oh, what an opportunity for patience. Oh, I come from Vegas, right? Everybody, the speed limit in Las Vegas is 95 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone. So here I come to Prescott, and I see 25 miles per hour. Y'all follow 25 miles per hour. You're pretty good with following that. And I'm like going, why aren't we going any faster? Right? So now I started having that a thing, and now, guess what? I must have followed 4 people to get here today at 25 miles per hour. So I was impatient. So now the universe is bringing back to me, here's some opportunities for you to explore patience. And so for my technologically challenged individuals that are in this room, don't ask for patience, because you're really going to get it. You're really going to get it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about changing your tone. Okay, so what does that mean? Changing your tone. Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, I'm okay. No, life is great. Yep. Oh, yeah, I saw the news yesterday. Yeah, that was terrible what was going on. Yeah. Oh, Johnny, yeah, he's good. He's good. Life is good. Yeah, I can't complain. There's a tone. Life is good, I can't complain. Oh, my goodness. What happens? Your blood pressure starts to rise a little bit. Your heart rate starts to pump up a little bit. All of a sudden, there's this thing that's happening to you. And it's called joy. It's called excitement. It's called vibrancy. It's called vitality. And in treatment, we know that for you. We know that you are vital and that you have that vitality within you. Because when we change our tone about how we approach things, things change around us. You start bringing and inviting people in who like you, who want to spend some time with you, who want to get to know you. Dare I say, might even want to go to lunch with you, or maybe want to take you somewhere or go somewhere. How did that happen? I'm still the same person, but you've changed your tone. And when we change our tone about ourselves, we attract what we project. So if you want to get some jiggle in your wiggle, change your tone. Change your tone. Because it doesn't matter if you are 20 years old or 100 years old. You can change your tone. You can change. It's possible. Or you can be the same. That's okay too. But I know as I journeyed in through this thing called life, and I journeyed through these evolutions and expressions of who I'm supposed to be, my tone had to change. I had to get rid of the R word. And for those of you who are in my fellowship 12-step groups, R is for resentment. Resentment is poison. And when we have resentments towards people, places, and things, it kills our spirit. It keeps us stuck in that place with no joy. And all we could do is have that tunnel vision of, I want to burn your village. I want to burn your village. How spiritual is that? I want to burn your village. So when we change our tone about people and we get into this look of resentment, we can go into a space of forgiveness. And for a lot of people, forgiveness is a very difficult journey. It hurts. It's not fun. But you benefit in the end. You benefit. It's that journey that we take. That we hit those bumps and we hit those roads, and that's when practitioners come into play. We're here to help you through those tough times. And you know how we know? Because we've been there. We've been there. We may not have had the exact same situation as you have, but we understand those tough times. And we understand how this faith and philosophy gets us through those tough times. So it's okay to ask for a practitioner, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to pray, and we're here to teach. And we love to pray. Because when I know the truth about you, guess what? I know the truth about me. And I get to share that with you. Because we are all what? One. We are all one. That's how that works. So, I'm going to move on to one other point here. And this one's going to be a tough one too. Letting go of the expectations of what others think you should be. Letting go of the expectations of what others think you should be. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and I was an only child, so I was perfect anyway, right? I didn't have to compete with anyone. I was like spoiled rotten. I was the poster child for the only child. But I had this cousin named Brian. And Brian lived up on the farm, kind of like where I'm staying at right now in Prescott Valley. It's on the farm. I love it. And he was the perfect child. Great in sports, great in school, great in relationships. And maybe any one of you guys could relate to this topic. Why can't you be like your cousin Brian? Why do you have to be so blank? You know, Brian does blank. Brian, I grew up resenting my cousin Brian for so long because I was always being compared to him. Even though I was an only child and he was simply my cousin, I was always being compared to him. So guess what happened? I carried that energy with me through adolescence and adulthood, where I didn't think that I was enough. I had to be like Jackson, or I had to be like Hazel, or I had to be like somebody else other than who I was. And I really firmly believe that when we are in this evolution stage of discovering ourselves, that all of us at one time or another in our life has probably been compared to somebody and probably have carried that energy of, why can't you be like so-and-so? If you look at your professional life now, look at so-and-so, how successful so-and-so is. Why can't you be like him? And it's getting rid of that illusion. You get to claim your own divinity. You get to claim the God within. You get to claim the wholeness and the perfection and the magnificent being that each one of us are. But it's tough work. That's why we have classes. That's why we teach. Because we always know the truth about you. And our job is to help remind you of that truth. Because we know you are whole, perfect, and complete. How about a song, Jackson? So I want you to take a moment. And I want you to take a look at those 4 things that I talked with you about so far today. Awareness, loving unconditionally, changing your tone, and letting go of expectations of what others think you should be. And I want you to take that, and I want you to just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And we're going to go within.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. Diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul, my soul.
And I want you to go in. I want you to see that divine light that is within you right now. And I want that light to become brighter. I want you to bring that light brighter within you. Because do you know how perfect you are? Do you know how beautiful you are? And I want you to see this box, and it's called a delete box. And I want you to put those things in that delete box that said that you weren't enough. I want you to put in that delete box, you don't match up to so-and-so. I want you to put in that delete box, the inner critic. I don't do this well enough. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too slow. I'm not enough. Yes, you are. And just take a deep breath. And I want you to breathe in that experience of freedom. Freedom. And we're going to cut those cords. We're going to cut those experiences that says, I'm not enough. Yes, you are. Bring us home, Jackson.
Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. Diving in, get ready, my soul. Diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Thank you, Jackson. I am that I am. I embody wholeness, perfection, love. And so, congratulations on going in and doing a little bit of going deeper. Going deeper. Because really, when we can support each other through our own transformation, how does it get any better than that? And here we are in this room supporting each other, whether we're verbally expressing it, our energy knows. Our energy knows. So here's how you keep that flow going. Be kind. Be kind. Be generous. Don't live in lack. Be generous. Be honest. Be honest with what's going on with you. Because the only shame is what you bring upon yourself, and there is no shame. And above all, be willing. Be willing. I'm so honored to be part of this beloved community, and I see God in each and every one of you. Namaste.